Hey there! In this very spirited and lively Wellness Wednesday, I share my top tips for getting your family or friends on board with healthy changes. I include several stories from my own family, my husband and son, and I also share the biggest healthy change I ever made and some very, very personal things that I don't know if I've ever actually shared publicly before. This was brought on by a question from one of the live viewers, and I was really glad that she asked it. So I hope you'll enjoy, and if you'd like to join us next week live, I'll see you on Facebook or Instagram. Hello, Facebook friends. We are live. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm just going to push go on YouTube, and we're going to start as well. Or not YouTube, Instagram. Hello, Instagram. We're live on Instagram and Facebook. Awesome. And hey, Wendy, I see that you're here on Facebook. So cool. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, my friends. And this is going to be going on YouTube as well. I'm recording my screen, so we're just going to get this everywhere. Hey, guys, I see you joining on Instagram and on Facebook. This is so fun. So, my friends, we have a great topic for you today, and I have notes. Let's see if I can, figure out how to access them because my screen is fully taken up with things I'm recording and lives, etc. But I want to talk about the subject of getting your family on board with healthy changes. So this is such a big topic, and it's going to be related to not just essential oils, which is kind of one thing that I really like to talk about on my Wellness Wednesdays. I like talking about holistic health and, not just pelvic health and fitness and yoga and that kind of stuff, not just the physical, but also the natural wellness, the holistic health, the plant magic, all that kind of thing. But I'm going to talk about everything today, and I want you to ask any questions or to share any stories about maybe how your family was resistant to your healthy changes that you wanted to make and how that worked for you and maybe what you did about it. So please, if you have anything that you want me to address, then please let me know in the comments. Also give me give me some love if you're liking this topic. If this is something that you need help with, I'd love a little heart or something, so I know I'm on the right track. But I know that I'm pretty sure I am, because I actually received this question from one of you, from somebody in my Facebook group. She sent me the question that said, let's see if I can grab it here. Oops. She asked, any tips to introduce kids or a partner who are used to perfumes and scented products to transitioning to essential oils instead? So that was the main question. And oh good, I'm seeing some hearts, I'm seeing some smiley faces, and I'm seeing more hearts to know that I'm on the right track. That's awesome. So good, you guys are liking the question, and then this gal here liked the question too because she wrote it. So she was specifically asking about perfumes and scented products and transitioning to essential oils. But I thought we could really take this even further and talk just sort of about some of the struggles and wins we've had in general with our partners and families when it comes to making the just general transition to healthy living. So I have that for you. And I did want to share while we're kind of getting things rolling and getting things going. And again, if you have any questions or, stories related to this topic of your own, please write them in the comments. But I did want to share that I got 2 comments recently from some dear friends and customers and just dear loves of mine in my customers only Facebook group about some things they've really noticed about their own personal transitions to more healthy living and specifically essential oils in this case. But my friend Megan said that she was very, and Megan's on the Instagram right now. So hi, Megan. She said that she was just really thrilled with how essential oils have really helped her transition into more self-care time and more time for, I know meditation is something she's really working on, and essential oils have really acted as a trigger, and it's really changing her life. And so I'm like, that's so cool. And then my sister-in-law told me specifically that the oils and kind of these routines and habits are really helping her kids sleep better. She has 2 boys, which are my nephews. So I'm obviously thrilled about that things are working out for her and her family. So those are just 2 examples of how these healthy changes really can take place, and it just takes consistency. So I mean, that's really the first thing with, making changes for yourself is it's all about consistency when it comes to your own life. So I'm just going to scroll and see if we have any comments so far. I don't see any questions, so that's totally fine. I will then just go on a little tangent about some things that I've noticed. Christina says, beautiful to see you live. Oh, well, thank you, Christina. It's beautiful that you're here. And you guys may notice I was just wiggling with my shirt. I love this shirt, by the way. This is from Essential Oil Style. It has this drop picture, and it has all of the different essential oils. They're the doTERRA oils, but it has all of their blends and essential oil singles on it. Isn't that fun? But it's got these little, those little hangers that you put your shirt on the hangers, those little ribbons that you put on your hangers, and they drive me crazy because they always fall out. So if my little shirt hangers are falling out, then sorry about that. It is what it is. And Christina says, hugs from sunny Spain. Oh my gosh, Christina, who's on Facebook right now, that's like my favorite place in the world. I love Spain. I've been there, I think, 6 times. I have a slight obsession with Spain. So, hello to you. Okay, guys, so let's dive into this topic finally. It is, once again, about making those healthy changes. So I have kind of, in no particular order, I have some thoughts. And I actually spoke with my husband and son about this at dinner tonight. I'm in Germany right now, so it's 8 o'clock at night for me. But we were talking about this at dinner and kind of some of the things that they thought as well, because I've definitely always been the ringleader when it comes to making some of these healthy changes in our family. And I mean, my husband is really amenable to all of it. He's totally cool with it. My son, not so much. But, I guess in my brain, I thought I'd have this baby who would come out of the womb and just, love everything about me and just want to be a little clone of me. And I have kind of the opposite of that. He's definitely not a clone of me. He definitely tends more toward, he wants to be on the video games. And I mean, I guess I'm online a lot because I have an online business, but he's definitely, pretty wishes that he could be more sedentary than he is. And he tends toward video gaming and wanting junk food all the time. And it's hard because I've really tried to instill different values, but at the same time, I think what I have to share here today is going to be really relevant because I want you to know that I don't have like this super easy family either, where all of us are just like granola eating, running through the flowers situation. My husband, he was a real hard one to win over when it came to my natural cleaning products and laundry. My son is hard about almost all of it. So I definitely am coming from somewhere that might ring true to you guys. So here's my thoughts. The first thing is, when you are trying to make changes, I have kind of 3 main rules to this. And I think for me, the main rules are for getting your family on board with making these healthy changes are to, first of all, lead by example. And this goes with friends and, friends as well. If you don't have kids or a husband or a wife or a partner at home, then this goes for friends too, because some of us, we've discovered some amazing solution for our health, and we really just want everyone to know about it. We're just like crowing over it. We're so excited, and we know that it's changed our lives. And so we want it to change their lives too because we love them, right? I mean, we love them, and we know, we can see that if they don't make this change, we kind of see the road they could go down because we've been down it too, maybe. And we know that it could be so different. So again, that's, I think, why many of us feel this need to really help other people in our lives make this change, whether it's our family, our kids, or just our friends, our coworkers. But my first thing is to lead by example. So you need to be the change yourself, and then other people will slowly, in their own time, follow along. Because if it's not in their own time, if they feel forced into it, they're either going to resist or they're going to be fake because they want you to leave them alone. or they're going to get mad at you and never want to talk to you again. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, they're going to dig their heels in, or they're going to be like, see ya. So I really find it to be most helpful to lead by example. I had this story once, way back in junior high school. I was part of this thing called Natural Helpers. It was a group of people, of kids that were selected who were very much like good listeners, and their friends liked to talk to them about their issues, etc. And so I was selected for this, and I was really excited about it. And we went to this camp to learn how to hold space for other people, how to listen without judging, and all those kinds of things. It was a great experience. But one thing never, ever, ever left me from that camp, and that was that one of the like teachers or the leaders of this camp, he was this older guy, big old beard, kind of I thought he was maybe a little grumpy at first, but he was actually super nice. Well, he wrote, every teacher and every kid in the camp wrote what they thought of you, like their impressions of you, on this poster at the end of the whole camp experience. And so, a little scary, right, to have people write their impressions of you, oh my God. But he wrote about me, this particular bushy-bearded counselor man, wrote, "You are a gentle leader." And I was like, what? What does that mean? A gentle leader? And at the time I thought, I don't think that that's a good thing. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I was a little confused about it. I didn't know what it meant, and I think that's why it really stuck with me so much, this gentle leader thing. But I think in the end, I'm actually very, very grateful that he said that, and I think it's a compliment. I'm very happy to be a gentle leader, because to me, I know that I personally respond best to gentle leadership as well. I do not want to be penned in. I don't want to feel like I'm forced or pressured into anything. I like to be free. Notice I work from home. Notice I found jobs where I can have freedom. Like, this is a really important aspect of my life, and I don't want to feel like I'm pushed into anything. And so to me, gentle leadership, and it is really important. It's something I respond to, and I feel that my people respond to me when I lead in a gentle way and really just sort of try to live my best life, and the people who are attracted to that will follow. And so with my family, I have also tried to be a gentle leader with them, and I think that leading by example and gentle leadership really is key. And so the next step kind of goes along with that, and that is educate, don't preach. It really is the same thing I just said, but nobody likes to be preached to, and I'm at risk of being a little preachy sometimes. I know I talk a lot. I've been accused of that. I've shared many times that people have said, you talk too much, and I get that, but it's something I work on, and I think that in general there's a tone, though. No matter how much you talk, there is a tone of preachiness and sort of telling someone, this is why you should do this, kind of like with a finger being pointed. That is something that no one responds to that. They're going to feel, again, they're going to shut down and be like, okay, you're right, and be cowed into something. Or, again, they're going to leave or be like, no, thank you, or rebel, if they're a kid especially. So educate, don't preach. I find that sometimes I have to educate, like, my family. So, for example, with laundry detergent, my husband loves the smell of laundry detergent that's like the commercial stinky stuff. I mean, I think it's stinky now, but I used to love it. The stuff you buy at the grocery store, etc., that has that really strong scent that sticks on your clothes and it lingers. And he's like, well, it's clean. It smells clean. I'm like, no, this is how I educate without preaching. I say, honey, that's not clean that you smell. That's just artificial scent. And I said, those aren't flower petals stuck to your clothes that creates that smell. That's artificial fragrance, and it is actually chemicals that can absorb into your body potentially and can impact your health. And so, I mean, I try to keep it light, but I try to give them some basic education, because I think a lot of people, I mean, my husband, he never really made that connection. He's like, well, that's the smell of clean. And it's like, no, that the scent of, I'm just going to say it, Tide, is not the smell of clean. It's the smell of artificial fragrance. Like, and so I could be like, rah, 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 this is artificial fragrance. This is what it does. Here's the research, rah, 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 and be on it every time he does the laundry or I do the laundry. But instead, I try to just gently educate. when it comes up, and then let it go. And so that's another key. So the third thing I wrote down was to stand strong in your convictions and stay true to them and stay the course. So that's really the key, because when you're doing this more gentle leadership style and the educating without preaching, it is potential that it's going to take longer for people to see, to come around to your side. But the only way they're ever going to come around to your side is when they see that this isn't just some fly-by-night thing that you sort of think is some fun thing, but it's just a trendy deal that you're off of in a couple weeks. So slowly by slowly, the more you stick with these healthy lifestyle changes and they can see that they're benefiting you, and that, it really is making a difference in your life, and that you're not going to let go of it. You're not faking anyone. Then pretty soon it will stick with them. And I think of the fact that, honestly, we're in this lifestyle, this healthy lifestyle stuff for the long game anyway. Like, I'm in the lifestyle game of movement forever. I will be moving every day until I die. I will be eating clean until I die, because I don't even like the taste of things that, okay, I love chips, and I love French fries. But a lot of the things that I used to like before I really changed my lifestyle over, it doesn't appeal to me anymore, and I'd rather eat more clean foods, unprocessed foods. So I'm in that for life. And even essential oils and more natural solutions, and trying to use, plant remedies before I go to over-the-counter or prescriptions when that's a reasonable thing. Of course, sometimes you need to go to the doc, but, using those things as first lines of defense, making my own personal care products and cleaning products. This is for life. I'm going to be doing this forever. And I really believe that this might take years, but you will see the fruits of your labors down the road. And there's this quote that I actually came across today from a friend that I wanted to read to you. It says this: "Remember, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. Be patient, be humble. Keep moving forward, and know that all this hard work you're putting in and day out will produce the results you've been looking for. Your time is coming. Don't give up." And so really, that is the key, is just keep going. Stay in your truth, be consistent, and stay the course. And people will realize, oh, she's not fooling, like, this is for real. And maybe there's something to this. And so I kind of think of the fact that sometimes these things may not actually be ever seen. We may never see the fruits of our labor when it comes to our kids, especially. I don't know this to be true. My son's only 11. He's almost 12, but I've never had a grown child. But I can say that for me, as a grown woman, almost 40, I have certain things that I do now that I remember my mom doing. And I remember, kind of thinking it was weird or whatever, just sort of thinking about it. And it's really funny because not just personality quirks and that kind of thing, but little habits and healthy things that she did that I now do too. And she probably has no idea. And she doesn't watch these, so maybe I'll tell her at some point, but she has no idea that I do these things that she instilled in me, such as every time I come home from my daily walk, I stoop down in my sidewalk and I pick a couple of weeds. We have weeds that grow in our sidewalk all the time. And I figure, heck, each day, if I pick a couple of weeds, that's going to help prevent them from completely taking over our sidewalk cracks. And so I just remember her. I have a strong image of growing up and her being like, I got to pick some weeds. And she'd bend over and she'd pick one, and one would lead to two, and two would lead to three, and four, and five. And now I do that exact same thing. And my son is like, Mom, stop. The neighbor, I don't know. He thinks that it's embarrassing. He thinks the neighbors will see me. He wants to go inside or whatever it is. But I do it too. And I think, that was my mom. That's the fruits of her, things that she instilled with me, of just taking care of the home and being outside and being one with nature and, doing that. That's something she has no idea that she instilled that in me. And you have no idea of what healthy habits you are instilling in your children or your friends or your partner or whatever it may be. So just keep that in mind as you go. So I have a couple more things, but let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I think that I don't know if let me just check on Facebook. I see some great stuff from Christina. Christina says, Germany, that's where you live or went for the convention. And Christina, On Facebook, I live in Germany. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me maybe, but I do live in Germany. So that's where I am right now. Hello, world. And Diana says, hi. Hello, my dear. Christina says, Mama in here with same desires for her 2 preteen boys. Yep, totally. Kaisu says he was so right. And I think that you're talking about the gentle leader comment. And if that's true, thank you very much, Kaisu. It touches me that he caught that about me, and I'm glad that he said I was a gentle leader. And it's something I'm proud of now, even though I wasn't so sure of it when I was, a teenager, a young teenager. Wendy says, you're definitely like that. Thank you, Wendy. I think that's the leadership thing, too. Thanks. I don't mean this to be all, about me. It's not. I promise, guys. Dagmar says, love you. Aw, love you so much. Thank you, Dagmar. Honoring their journey, their struggles, and inviting them to elevate to a new way of being. Yes, beautifully said. Thank you. That was perfectly said. Exactly. And let me just check on Instagram right now. Megan says, yes, essential oils have helped so much with my self-care routine and in turn had a huge improvement in my overall health. Awesome. And you know what, Megan? If you're still watching, girl, the best thing is that I was doing healthy, eating clean and moving every day, which was my whole FemFusion thing since before my son was born. That was a big part of my lifestyle. But the essential oils are actually fairly new. And my son is always a bit resistant to these healthy things that I do anyway, but I think that if I would have started essential oils and using more natural remedies with him when he was younger, it would have been a lot easier. And unfortunately, I started when he was 8 or 9. Instead of your daughter is a lot younger. She's going to grow up remembering essential oils and natural, remedies and natural solutions as just being something that you naturally reach for. So man, it is so cool when people can get their little kids on board. And heck, it's okay for those of us who got started a little later with our kids and our family. It's totally fine. But it's just really cool when younger moms or younger families can get their kids on board at a young age because they'll just never know any different. And I applaud everyone out there who's in that situation. I think that's really cool. Glenna says, I can definitely relate about getting people on board. Yes, totally. And Dana says, what was the biggest change you've made toward a healthy, natural lifestyle? And Holly says, hi, sweet friend. Hi, Holly. So Dana, that's a great question. That's a really cool one. Let me think about that. You can define biggest as you want. Ooh, man, that's a great question. Ooh, I'm going to have to think about this. Well, I guess I'm debating between, exercise being a regular part of my life because I was so unathletic as a child. And honestly, it's funny because I was talking and kind of complaining about how my son is pretty sedentary and he's not an athlete at all. But neither was I. At all. I was picked last for every team in PE class. I was teased that I ran like a chicken. All of these memories. I made one basket on the junior high JV, the junior varsity basketball team when I was, I think, in 8th grade or maybe a freshman. I did try basketball, but the basket that I made was for the wrong team. It was on the wrong side of the court. It wasn't for my team. So no wonder I made it. The court was really clear. I was like, man, how cool. The court's clear. So I think, getting into a routine of fitness and exercise that works for me was a big switch for me. And what that took was experiment. Well, first of all, overcoming my fears because I was scared of exercise and scared of people making fun of me and scared of being a fool. But I got into running, and running kind of, helped me. It got me in shape, and it got me kind of loving the feel of movement in my body and all that kind of stuff. But then I explored more dance and fitness classes and all sorts of crazy dance classes, all sorts of fun. And that got me started on what I'm doing today. And so, that was sort of the basis of really what I do now, because I still consider my business, although doTERRA is a huge part of my business and my life, the essential oils and natural living, but, YouTube and my fitness and my yoga is really a major piece of my business and what I just love doing. I love doing it. If I could do, YouTube every day for the rest of my life and make videos and share free content, I'd be a happy girl. Like, I really love it. And so that was really big. But I think also getting into yoga was a really big thing for me, and that actually happened very young for me. And then another thing was definitely the eating changes that I made. I mean, I had to. I've shared this before, and so I'm happy to share it again. I'll just be brief. But I can truly, honestly say that changing my eating, because I had some severe food sensitivities that growing up eating a standard American diet all the way through my early 20s, I had no idea that I was completely intolerant to gluten, dairy, and at the time, I'm sensitive to soy, and at the time I was a vegetarian, toying with veganism, but mostly vegetarian because I loved my cheese, and I loved my milk, and I loved my soy milk too because it was trendy, and all I ate was really breads and cheeses and tofu. And so that's pretty much all I ate, and it turns out those were all incredibly inflammatory for me. And to be honest with you guys, I was in an abusive relationship, and not with my husband now, but with another boyfriend, and I was 20, and it didn't end well. Things didn't go well there, and I was suicidal. Like, I was not good. And I went to a therapist, and I was a wreck, you guys. And so I can honestly say that my mom, because I had so many gut issues, and then I had these mental health issues, I essentially cracked. And my mom found out that about gluten sensitivity, and this was almost 20 years ago now. And so it was pretty new that people were even aware of it. And, people that didn't have celiac sprue, like diagnosed as a little tiny kid. And so she uncovered this information about it, and I completely resisted it. And I was like, this is BS. I don't believe this for a minute that this is a thing. and so I ended up getting tested, and I ended up having the genes for celiac disease. And I had my test results revealed that I was not absorbing any foods that I ate. I had horrible antibodies against gluten and casein, which is the protein found in milk and dairy. And all of this was going on, and I had no idea. So my body was completely inflamed. I wasn't absorbing my nutrients, and I was, going through emotional turmoil on top of that. So no wonder I was a mess. No wonder I was having such issues. And so changing my diet, which did not happen overnight, it happened over quite a long period of time because I really did resist it. But it changed my life probably the most. It was probably the biggest. As you asked, Dana, it was probably the biggest thing that changed my life because it saved my life. Like, I can honestly say that changing to this more healthy way of life literally saved my life. And so I think that's why, I know how, I'm so passionate about this. I know how important it is, and I know how shitey I feel when I slip off my bandwagon that's important for me. My bandwagon, we're all different as far as what our needs are. I would never say that, you need to be gluten-free. You do too, all of you. No. But for me, I need to be gluten-free. And I have, some other things that I need. And I know that when I just even slip in little ways that just don't feel right for me, I feel horrible, and it's just not worth it. And so, I think diet would be the biggest change. So that is the long answer to that question, Dana. And I had a couple more things. Amanda says, please share all. I just found you on Instagram and I watched your YouTube. Oh, thanks, Amanda. That's awesome. I love that you're one of my YouTube Fem Tribe gals. That's so cool. I am going to be posting more on YouTube now. I'm going to be putting these Wellness Wednesdays on YouTube, but the live conversation happens here. So, and Paula says, have you heard about Ayurveda? Yes, I am highly Vata. Can you tell? And I have a little bit of Pitta, and I am no Kapha at all. I mean, I'm sure I am, but that's my doshic profile. And I know I've studied Ayurveda a bit. I'm certainly no expert, but I find it absolutely fascinating. So I'd love to know more about it. And it's something that I see myself delving a lot more into in the future. But right now it's not. I've got so many other things on my plate But there is a course that I may be taking in the fall, so I'm pretty excited about that. So if you just are popping on, we're talking about getting your family on board with healthy changes. So I have a couple more, just a quick things to share. But before I do want to tell you that if you're new to me, if you haven't been on any of my email lists before, or if you want my moon chocolate recipe, which is a new thing that I just added as kind of a little welcome gift to those who join my Essential Oil Curious mailing list, then please go to bit.ly, so bit.ly/FEMEO, and that's with a capital F, little e, little m, and with a capital E and a capital O. So bit.ly/FEMEO with a capital F and then a capital EO. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, if you type that in, you should see a little landing page that has you sign up for my mailing list, and I will be sending out my moon chocolate recipe to you if you join that in the second email that you receive. I just added it today, so it's heavy on my mind. I love my moon chocolate. It uses seed cycling and some really healthy gut healing ingredients and blood sugar stabilizing ingredients for chocolate, and it's really a lot of fun, so definitely check that out. And again, we are talking again about getting families on board with healthy habits and changes. And so I already shared my 3 tips, which are to lead by example and be a gentle leader, educate, don't preach. Sorry, I have notifications coming in. Educate, don't preach. And then number 3 is to stand strong in your convictions and stay the course. Stay the course. So a couple things from my husband and son that we were talking about at dinner tonight, because I asked them, I said, what really helped you about the way we do things? And so my husband said, easing into it is a really important thing, easing in. So if you are just diving into any aspect of healthy living, whether it's exercising more or eating more clean or maybe using essential oils, rather than being I am all in and you are too, it might be best to kind of ease in little ways. Like his suggestion, and I don't know if I fully agree with this, but he was like maybe you could do Healthy Monday. And I mean, maybe that would work for your family. But I do think it's a great idea to kind of ease in. So for example, if you're cooking, I would never, ever encourage anyone for healthy eating to make an entire separate meal for you if you want to make the healthy change and then something else for the rest of your family. So my suggestion is to make something that everyone, to make your meal, maybe just healthify it a bit, maybe make some of the side, I usually do a main something and then a side dish or whatever, and make something that is really flavorful, because honestly, one of the best ways to get people on board is to bring in flavors and make it taste great. I mean, clearly that's pretty simple and duh, but we may not think about that. We may think, oh, I need to eat steamed broccoli and, with no salt and no oil or anything like that. But nobody's going to like that. Flavor it up. Add some steamed broccoli with olive oil or melted grass-fed butter or ghee, whatever your body tolerates, with 3 drops of lemon essential oil and some drizzled in, and then you stir it around and just drizzle it over your steamed broccoli, and then sprinkle it all with salt. And if your family likes garlic, a little bit of garlic, oh my gosh, it's delicious. So just flavor things up and it'll be better, and that kind of thing. But give some options, and then have something available and on hand for those who are just no, I'm not going to eat it. Say, okay, fine. You can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for yourself. I mean, something that's reasonable, but something that they'll tolerate. But you don't do it. They need to do it. And so that really is key. That's something we do with our son a lot. There's certain things that he just won't eat. He will not eat zucchini noodles. If we have zucchini, spiralized zucchini for dinner, he won't do it. So I say, okay, well, you can make your own noodles in your own pot, but you're in charge. 100% you're in charge. Or if you just don't want to eat this at all, you have to make your own thing tonight. So I don't feel bad about that one bit. That's how we manage it in our family, and it's been really helpful, because it teaches my son independence and self-sufficiency, but it also oftentimes, well, not with zucchini noodles, but with other things, he will sometimes come around and be like, fine, I'll have it. So that's an idea there. The other thing that kind of goes along with this idea is with laundry. And this was my husband's suggestion because laundry is a big battle in our house. Like I mentioned earlier, he loves the smell of like commercial laundry detergent and how it sticks to his clothes and that kind of thing. And I make my own laundry detergent that's all natural and just uses essentially washing soda and Castile soap and some essential oils. And I have my little tub of laundry soap, and he has his tub of regular detergent upstairs in our laundry area. And so we basically, there's certain things that are non-negotiable that have to be washed in my laundry detergent because it's going to be affecting both of us, like our sheets. And he knows that and he honors that. So if he's doing the laundry, he'll use my detergent for the sheets. But things that are his non-negotiables, because he has his non-negotiables too, and I have to honor that he wants his gym clothes to smell like Tide, because he's like, they heat up when I'm working out. They get hot and sweaty, and I don't want to be smelling like your natural stuff. I want to smell like my detergent. I want to smell good. And so he does his own gym clothes, his own laundry. That's like a separate little thing. He does those himself, and he'll use his Tide. So that's something that you can consider too as far as kind of getting your family on board. In my opinion, if they're not all the way on board, that's okay. It's still a step in the right direction, and it's still kind of working toward the ultimate goal, and it's better than not trying at all. So I think that we have to meet people where they're at on their own journey. And the last thing I had written down here is that I learned something back when I was in my, I think I was like 18 or 19, and I did this crazy meditation course. It was like 3 weekends long, and I went to this place. I was the youngest person by like 40 years there, and it was really quite amusing at the time. I loved it though. And one of the things that we learned in this course, we learned all sorts of stuff from meditation and mind stuff too. A lot of just things that really stuck with me. One was this quote, that expectations reduce happiness. So that's simple, but expectations reduce happiness. And that's not to say that you shouldn't dream, that you can't create your own reality, that you can't hope, and that you can't have faith and have vision, because I believe firmly in those things, firmly. But that's very different than like expecting something, which to me feels very grasping and very like thirsty. Like there's this concept for manifestation, for anyone into law of attraction and manifesting and that kind of stuff that I love, about the feeling of being thirsty for something. And when you're thirsty for something, you are ultimately repelling it away, because there's this energy of thirstiness and like craving that it has to happen, and it has to happen your way. And it feels very heavy and clingy and graspy. And that's going to push people away. And so to me, when I think of my husband and son, and I maybe expect them to be a certain way, or I am thirsty for them to be a certain way, I just know that that's going to reduce my happiness, and it's going to reduce the likelihood that they're actually going to turn to my way. So I think that that's the last thing I wanted to leave you with, which is just to kind of, again, meet people where they are and honor them for being on their own journey, and knowing that you're going to stay your course. At some point, they might follow the way you want to go, and you may not even know. You may have no idea at all, but you're still planting that seed, and you're doing the best you can. And honestly, all we can do is live our own lives anyway. And so yeah, I guess that's my end there. That's how I wrap it all up, is to kind of say one more time, we lead by example, we educate, we don't preach, we stand strong in our convictions, and we stay the course with our own thing. Again, our own thing. And then we, ease into things when we are making the changes, and we understand that expectations reduce happiness, and being thirsty and grasping for these changes won't make them happen. I can be thirsty all I want for my son to go out and go on a run with me, but it probably isn't going to happen, now. But all I can do is just plant the seed and ask, and keep asking with an open heart and a loving heart, and keep organizing family activities that involve active time, and also letting him be him. Because you know what? I have a kid who loves video games, and it's who he is. And although we have our limits and we have our family rules, but I have to honor that that's something that he really values in his life. So Okay. Clearly it's time to be done. I just got a warning on Instagram saying I have low power on my phone. So I guess that's it. I've been yammering for long enough. And I think that I don't have any, I have some more comments. Let me just read them real quick. So Instagram, I don't have any comments from you. Sorry, so sorry if I missed one. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Well, let me just read a couple things from Facebook here. So Diana says, yes, for little kids, my almost 18-month-old holds his feet up when he sees me with a roller ball, on guard every day for him and the daycare germs. Yes, that is such a great one for immune support. So that's awesome. It's so cool when the little kids get on board early. And then Mindy says, I've been using oils for about 12 years, so my older two were in middle school and the younger in elementary. They've embraced my journey and come to me with questions. And that's so cool. I love that. I think that kids are just all so different. And I know, like I said, like my son, he's only just now coming to me. Like he used to almost like run away from me when I'd be like, hey, let's try this on you, this roller ball or whatever. But every once in a while now, he'll come and be like, do you have like an essential oil I could use for this? My stomach hurts. And I love it. I try not to make a big deal about it. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go check this out, you know? But inside I'm like, yes, I'm dancing, I'm crowing around, I'm so excited. So I think that that's just my son though, and other kids are much more on board earlier. So it's awesome if you have kids that are on board earlier. Kaisu says, I love and appreciate that you share these very personal things with us. You're a courageous girl. Aw, thank you, honey. Thank you, Megan. Megan typed in my bit.ly link, which is bit.ly/femeo, and F is capitalized and EO is capitalized, and that's to get my moon chocolate recipe and other great things. A great way to keep in touch with me about natural health, and also just to get on my FemFusion mailing list so you know about my latest YouTube videos and that kind of thing. And Kaisu says, the other day my husband came to me and asked for a remedy to a blister he had on his nose. I'd given him some lavender for it earlier. Yeah, that's awesome. So he's getting on board, and it sounds like I know Kaisu, and I know that, you know, your husband was pretty new to this whole thing, and so it sounds like he's coming around. And again, you've just been consistent. Like, I know you, Kaisu. Like, I know who you are. We are friends. And so I know that you've been consistent, and you've just been steady with it. And I know you've been a gentle leader. So that's the key. And Mindy, thanks, Mindy. Mindy says this was awesome. Well, that makes me feel good because, you know, I did share some personal stuff today, and when do I not? Last time I talked about my hemorrhoids, so my goodness. I guess I got nothing else to share next time, but I will plan on being back next Wednesday. I love doing these. I think it's a fun way to connect, and I really love the energy and getting your guys' comments as we go. So it's just really fun. Let's keep joining me if you're up for it. If you're around, I'll be back every Wednesday, you know, unless I have something going on, at 8 o'clock p.m. Central European time, because as we established today, I do live in Germany. I am American. So yeah, very cool. And Angie says, my husband asked for peppermint for head tension. Yay, that's cool. And Angie, you also said love your top, and I mentioned it earlier, but this is from Essential Oil Style. So if you've never used Essential, or if you've never seen their website, they have really cute, by the way, I'm not getting paid to say this, but they have really cute shirts and things like that for essential oil enthusiasts like me. So I will go ahead and leave you with that, and please know that speaking of essential oil enthusiasts, if you ever are interested in getting started with essential oils, I know a lot of you are already users of essential oils, but if you are interested in getting started with doTERRA oils and you're not working with somebody else, hey, I'm your girl. Reach out, let me know. I love, love, love taking people by the hand, helping them get started. There's one-on-one welcome calls when you join with me. I make sure you know how to use what you purchased, and then we go from there. So thanks so much for watching. Remember to go to bit.ly/femeo, capital F, E-M, capital E, capital O, to get my moon chocolate recipe and to just get on my FemFusion mailing list, because I'm always, you know, sharing my newest YouTube videos on there as well. So until next time, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter. I hope this was a helpful conversation today about getting your family on board with healthy changes. And if you didn't catch it, the whole thing, then please watch the replay. Okay, bye guys. I'll end Instagram. Goodbye. And goodbye, Facebook friends. Thank you so much for being here.